Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Pixley for President. I'm Jared Pixley, running for President of the United States. Now, since I know that most people don't stay until the end of the video, I just want to get the plugs out of the way. If you are liking these videos, please like, share, subscribe. That really helps me out, helps spread the word about my campaign. Um, you can also check out my website, pixleyforpresident.com. There you can sign up for my monthly newsletter. You can read my old newsletters. And you can donate to my campaign if you feel so inclined. Even $5 or $10 would help me out a lot. My social media links, and the link to my book on Amazon are in the description below. And let's get started. So, in my book, Pixley for President 2028, I make the promise that as president, I will not waste taxpayer money playing golf. Since I don't play golf, that is an easy promise for me to keep. Now, I did a video on this in the past. It was one of my first videos, but I wanted to do it again because I had some better numbers, and I thought I could just make the video better. So during the first 492 days of Trump's second term, he has gone golfing 111 times. This comes out to be about 22% of his time in office, which is just a little more than during his first term. He spent about 33% of his time during his first term at a Trump property instead of the White House, but was only confirmed to be golfing about 17% of that time. Now, this term, he has gone golfing 111 times and has spent an additional 30 days or so at a Trump property. There are multiple websites where you can track this online. Just Google Trump Golf Tracker. And you can see for yourself exactly what days he was in the White House and what days he was on a Trump property. Now, most of this time was weekends. But last year, there were some entire weeks that he spent at a Trump property golfing. Now, I don't have any problem with someone taking the weekends off if they're working Monday through Friday. However, I do have problems with him running tactical operations from Mar-a-Lago, like he did for the invasion of Venezuela. If you plan a strike and need minute-by-minute updates on it, perhaps you should go back to D.C. and visit the Situation Room. Now, many of these non-golfing days where he was at a Trump property include Fridays. Now, that makes sense. Let's skip out of the work week a day early to go on vacation. But he was doing this almost every weekend. If it was just once or twice, fine. But several times a month is too much. This is a man that does not want to work. He wants to make the problems and then go play golf while everyone else suffers. To make matters worse, over the last 3 months, he has spent almost every weekend traveling to Mar-a-Lago and playing golf, while he has attacked Iran and wrecked our economy and energy supply. In fact, in March, he spent 14 out of the 31 days in Mar-a-Lago. This leads me to believe that he does not care about the average Americans and what they're suffering. In fact, he even said so during negotiations with Iran. He does not care how much Americans are suffering. I talk about this in another video. I won't go over it anymore here. Now, the next problem I have is the cost. This term, which is, we're going into the 18th month. This term, it has cost the American taxpayers, like you and me, about $155 million. $155 million for him to skip out of work to golf. The cost is based on the expense of flying Air Force One down to Mar-a-Lago, which runs about $600,000 a trip. So that's $600,000 every weekend to go to Mar-a-Lago. Sorry, that's $600,000 each way to go to Mar-a-Lago. This also includes flying the second plane, which carries the extra Secret Service and their vehicles. It covers renting the overpriced rooms at Mar-a-Lago and food for the agents to eat, which they bill back to the Secret Service, to the American government. Trump charges the Secret Service about $400 a night for a room. Now, this is actually an improvement. During the first term, he charged them up to $1,100 a night, according to release Congress files. Congress did question these charges because they were several times the amount that the law allows the Secret Service to claim for reimbursement. Now, $400 a night doesn't sound like much. I mean, it's more than I would want to pay for a hotel room, but I also make so little money. But when you have 30 agents there with you at a time, that comes out to be $12,000 a night for his resort, or more than my entire annual income. And all this so he can go golf while the rest of the country wonders what groceries we can afford to buy this week. As I said, flying Air Force One is expensive, about $200,000 an hour of flight time. Now this goes towards staffing, maintenance, fuel, and the cost of making replacement parts. The model of plane that the government uses is no longer being manufactured. Finding spare parts is hard. That is why they've been working on building a new plane, and hopefully it'll be ready in time when I take office. So for any sort of replacement parts they need, they actually have to make them from scratch or scour junkyards. The other problem I have with Trump in his golfing is the promise he made back in March of 2017 when he was campaigning for his first term. He said that, in quote, "I will be too busy working to play golf." Then he went and spent a third of his time at Mar-a-Lago or one of his other resorts. Promises made, promises broken. In fact, Trump went golfing 11 times during his first 8 weeks of his first term. He never intended to keep that promise. And that annoys me. I hate politicians that just say things that people think they'll like. You're voting for someone that believes what you believe, so they need to be honest so you know what they actually believe. Now, Trump is not the first president to go golfing. Many others enjoyed playing. In fact, Trump complained about Obama playing golf while in office, despite the fact he did not go golfing during his first 8 weeks and did not go to expensive resorts, thus costing the taxpayers a lot less money. Obama played golf 333 days throughout both of his terms, or about 42 days a year, less than half what Trump is doing. Enough presidents have enjoyed golf that they put a putting green on the south lawn near the West Wing. President Eisenhower installed it, then Nixon removed it, and then President George H.W. Bush had it reinstalled in 1991. They also have multiple holes over at Camp David. Like I said at the start, I will not go golfing. The $155 million is not much compared to the federal budget. But it's another drop in the budget that I can save you, the American taxpayer. As president, I will stay in the White House and do the job that you voted for me to do. After work and on the weekends, I might play some video games or watch a movie once I rebuild the cinema. That's the stuff that I like to do. I'm hoping to go see The Back Rooms in the theaters this month. That looks like an interesting movie. I also enjoy playing Dungeons and Dragons, and I might invite some friends to the White House to play, or even some congressmen to join me if I can find any that play. But that will not cost the American taxpayers a dime. When the president has guests, he pays for any services, including food and staff needs, to make and serve that food out of his own paycheck. So if I want to play Dungeons and Dragons and I want some snacks for the game, I have to pay for the ingredients and I have to pay for the cook's salary out of my paycheck. The American taxpayers will not have to pay millions of dollars because I don't feel like working that day. I understand the job of the president is a lot of work. The president works about 60 to 80 hours a week and is always on call. Trump has complained more than once about how much work it is. How did he not learn how much work it was during his first term? Oh, yeah, he was barely in office during his first term. I will be there working to make things better for the average Americans. When there's a major raid, I will be there in the Situation Room as it happens, like every president before Trump. I also like what Bush did while in office. He spent his holidays at Camp David. Since Camp David is already protected as it's on a military base, this meant he needed less Secret Service protection. And as he would spend Thanksgivings and Christmases there, he let his Secret Service and his White House staff have the day off to spend with their families. I think this was a good habit, and it showed how much, and it will show how much I care about my staff doing the same. So, there you have it. Those are the reasons I won't play golf and why it will save the American people some money. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any ideas for other videos, please put them in the description box below, or in the comment box below. I am thinking about doing a video on actual policies that I want to implement as president next week. So this is the promise about what I won't do, and next week is the promises of what I will do. Please come back and check out the next one. Have a wonderful day.